The year is 1836. The landscape of North America is a patchwork of territories and emerging nations, each vying for control and influence. In the heart of Texas, a small band of Texan rebels, outnumbered and outgunned, makes their desperate stand at the Alamo. These brave men, including famous figures like Davy Crockett and Jim Bowie, are determined to defend their fort against overwhelming odds. They fight fiercely against the Mexican army, led by General Santa Anna. Despite their valiant efforts, the Alamo falls after a brutal 13-day siege, leaving a legacy of heroism and sacrifice. Remember, the Alamo becomes a rallying cry, a symbol of Texan courage and a prelude to a larger conflict, the Mexican-American War. This phrase ignites a fervor among Texans and their allies, fueling their resolve to fight for independence and sovereignty. This war, a pivotal chapter in North American history, was a clash of cultures, ambitions, and national pride. It was a struggle for territory and dominance, with both sides believing in the righteousness of their cause. It pitted a young and ambitious United States, eager to expand its borders, against a Mexico still grappling with the birth pangs of nationhood. The conflict would test the mettle of both nations and reshape the continent. The war's echoes resonate even today, shaping the contours of the US-Mexico border and leaving an enduring mark on the two nations' psyches. The outcomes of this war have influenced political, social, and cultural dynamics for generations. Join us now as we journey back in time to explore the causes, the battles, and the enduring legacies of the Mexican-American War. Through the stories of those who lived it, we will uncover the profound impact this conflict had on the course of history. At the heart of the brewing storm was Texas. Originally part of Mexico, Texas attracted American settlers with its vast landscapes and fertile soil. These newcomers, however, brought with them different customs, languages, and a growing desire for self-governance. Mexico, eager to populate the region, initially encouraged American immigration. However, cultural and political differences soon led to tensions. The Mexican government, wary of growing American influence, attempted to assert greater control over Texas. These efforts, however, only fueled the flames of Texan independence. Meanwhile, north of the Rio Grande, a powerful idea was taking hold: manifest destiny. This belief held that the United States had a God-given right to expand its territory westward, from sea to shining sea. Texas, with its strategic location and resources, became a prime target for these expansionist ambitions. The US government, though initially hesitant to annex Texas and risk war with Mexico, watched the unfolding events with keen interest. The allure of westward expansion, fueled by dreams of new territories and economic opportunities, proved too strong to resist. From the Mexican perspective, the US annexation of Texas in 1845 was a blatant land grab, a violation of their national sovereignty. Mexico viewed Texas as a rebellious province, still very much a part of its territory. The loss of such a vast and resource-rich region was a blow to Mexican pride and a threat to its national security. Adding to the tension was a dispute over the border between Texas and Mexico. The US claimed the Rio Grande as the border, while Mexico insisted on the Nueces River further north. This disagreement over territory would prove to be the spark that ignited the war. Section 5, The Spark Ignites, Border Disputes and the Slide to War. In 1846, US President James K. Polk, a staunch expansionist, ordered American troops under General Zachary Taylor south to the Rio Grande. This provocative move was designed to force a confrontation with Mexican forces. The inevitable clash occurred on April 25, 1846, when a Mexican cavalry detachment engaged a US patrol north of the Rio Grande. The skirmish, though small, provided Polk with the pretext he needed. He declared that Mexico had shed American blood upon American soil and called for a declaration of war. Congress, swept up in the fervor of manifest destiny, readily agreed. The Mexican-American War had begun. Section 6. Early victories and the fall of Mexico City. The war that followed was a testament to the tenacity and military prowess of both sides. The United States, with its superior resources and industrial might, had a distinct advantage. However, Mexican soldiers fought bravely, defending their homeland with fierce determination. Early battles saw American victories. General Taylor's forces triumphed at Palo Alto and Resaca de la Palma, driving deeper into Mexican territory. In the south, General Winfield Scott led a daring amphibious landing at Veracruz, capturing the port city after a lengthy siege. Section 7, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, a resounding American victory. From Veracruz, Scott began a daring march inland, aiming for the heart of Mexico City. He faced fierce resistance at Cerro Gordo, Contreras, and Churubusco. Despite heavy losses, Scott's forces prevailed, demonstrating their tactical superiority and unwavering resolve. In September 1847, after a series of hard-fought battles, American troops marched triumphantly into Mexico City. The Mexican government, demoralized and defeated, had little choice but to sue for peace. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, signed in February 1848, formally ended the war. It recognized the U.S. annexation of Texas and ceded a vast territory known as the Mexican Cession to the United States. Section 8, the price of victory, casualties and consequences. The Mexican-American War, though a resounding American victory, came at a heavy cost for both nations. The conflict, which lasted from 1846 to 1848, saw numerous battles fought across a vast expanse of territory. From the Rio Grande to the heart of Mexico City, thousands of soldiers lay dead on battlefields from Texas to Mexico City. The human toll was staggering, with many young men never returning home to their families. The grim reality of war was evident in the countless lives lost and the many more who were left wounded. Disease, a constant scourge of warfare, claimed even more lives than combat. Unsanitary conditions in the camps led to outbreaks of dysentery, yellow fever, and other deadly illnesses. Medical knowledge at the time was limited, and many soldiers succumbed to these diseases. Mexico, already grappling with political instability and economic woes, was left devastated by the war. The destruction of infrastructure and the loss of life further weakened the nation, leaving it vulnerable to internal strife and external pressures. The loss of territory and the psychological scars of defeat would have long-lasting consequences. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo forced Mexico to cede vast tracts of land, including present-day California, Nevada, and Utah, to the United States. In the United States, the war intensified the already simmering debate over slavery. The addition of new territories reignited the contentious issue of whether these lands should permit slavery, further polarizing the nation. The vast new territories acquired from Mexico raised the question of whether slavery should be allowed to expand westward. This debate would dominate American politics in the years following the war, as both pro-slavery and anti-slavery factions vied for control. This issue would continue to divide the nation, ultimately leading to the Civil War just over a decade later. The Mexican-American War, while a significant event in American history, set the stage for an even more devastating conflict that would shape the future of the United States. Section 9. Legacies of war, territorial changes, and shifting identities. The Mexican-American War reshaped the map of North America. The United States, with its newly acquired territories, extended its reach from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. The war also had a profound impact on the cultural and demographic landscape of the region. The border between the United States and Mexico, once a fluid and porous boundary, solidified into a dividing line between two nations. Thousands of Mexicans living in the ceded territories found themselves suddenly incorporated into the United States. Their language, culture, and traditions became part of the American tapestry. Section 10, the Mexican-American War in retrospect, a pivotal chapter in North American history. The Mexican-American War, a conflict often overshadowed by other chapters in American history, was a pivotal event that shaped the destiny of both nations. This war, which lasted from 1846 to 1848, was driven by the United States' desire to expand its territory, a concept known as manifest destiny. The conflict began over a border dispute in Texas, but it quickly escalated into a full-scale war that saw American forces invade deep into Mexican territory. It marked the rise of the United States as a continental power, fulfilling its expansionist ambitions. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which ended the war, resulted in the U.S. acquiring vast territories, including present-day California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. This massive land acquisition not only fulfilled the United States' expansionist dreams, but also set the stage for its emergence as a dominant power in North America. For Mexico, it was a time of national humiliation and loss. The war resulted in the loss of about half of Mexico's territory, a devastating blow to the young nation. The psychological impact of this defeat was profound, leading to a period of political instability and economic hardship that would plague Mexico for years to come. The war left an enduring legacy of resentment and mistrust that would color relations between the two countries for generations to come. The deep-seated animosity and suspicion that arose from this conflict have influenced diplomatic and social interactions between the United States and Mexico, creating a complex and often contentious relationship. Today, as we grapple with issues of immigration, border security, and cultural identity, the echoes of the Mexican-American War continue to resonate. The border that was drawn as a result of this war remains a focal point of tension and debate, influencing contemporary policies and perceptions on both sides. Understanding this often overlooked conflict is essential to comprehending the complex relationship between the United States and Mexico, two nations forever linked by their shared history. By studying the Mexican-American War, we gain insight into the historical roots of current issues and the enduring impact of past events on present-day relations.